Okay, this is my second take of this. If you want to know the video that I've been watching lately, it's called Red Haired Giants of New Zealand: Forbidden History, Diffusion, Skeleton Under the Carpet. Now, here's something very interesting, and I'm starting to get to this point of wondering whether Maui was fair skinned. Did he come from Egypt? Was he this giant? I'm not too sure. Was he strong? Was he. I'm trying to figure out whether Maui and Tangaloa, whatever this race is that came to Polynesia, came from Egypt, whether they came from the Middle East and traveled, whether they traveled into Siberia and then into the Americas and then into the Polynesia. I'm not too sure. Everything is theory, right? But if you look at this picture, these pictures that I took, like snapshot. Now this is the theory, right? That we have now, the outer Taiwan theory, that somehow Taiwanese came in first. This is the theory we have, and then the Melanesians. I'm not too sure. Maybe they were there, maybe they weren't. But somehow within Tonga and Samoa, we paused. We did not want to travel. That's their theory. And somehow when we paused, the evolutionary, our features, and whatever you may like to call it, began to change. I don't know what the outer Taiwan theory is, but I do not believe it one bit. But what I found out was really interesting when watching this, and I'm going to keep this one right here, is that you find that in the Rapa Nui's that they are 70% Polynesian, Native American is about 8%, and 16% of European ancestry. So it just shows you that there is within the Polynesian DNA American Indian DNA. And here are some pictures of their features. Descendants, there, look, the descendants, the faces of the Easter Islanders, or what you may call long eared descendants. More of them. And here, that's the rocker jaw, whatever you call it, that I keep talking about, that you find within not just Polynesia, Melanesia, Australia, but you find it in Southeast Asia and other parts in the world. And here's some drawings, right? Tattooed Rapa Nui. These are all part of this video over here. It's a very interesting video that I recommend everyone to watch. Here's another one talking about the Samoan hairdress and everything. And here, picture of the Tahitian princess. As you can see, she's very light skinned.
And red-haired people throughout the Pacific.
There's a little bit story about.
For example, when Captain Wallace on HMS Dolphin visited Tahiti in 1767, they noticed that over 10% of the population were white-skinned with golden hair.
Golden hair, okay? So they had red hair, some had black, so on and so forth. So this is observation. I've even read this in a book. I've read about it.
Especially on the islands of Huahine and Raiatea, a name that originally meant the white-skinned people of Ra.
So you'll find out that they say that there was these red-headed white-skinned people, not only in Tahiti, but within New Zealand. And you can see right here that they are the origins of the Maori descendants, whether they are Greeks or Egyptians, whether they are a lost tribe in Israel, so or whether the home of India, the homeland India, right? So there are so many theories of where Polynesia came from. It's not just out of Southeast Asia. In fact, these are some of the pictures I took, right? Look at that. This is Peru. More descendants, Easter Islanders. And Here's another one. I didn't realize this, but Orongo is known as the red-haired Polynesian ancestry figure of the god of Kumara, not rice, the god of Kumara. So, more evidence. So, they explain what these hats are within the video, and even the buildings, right? I didn't realize that these buildings, you can find it within Easter Island as well. Here, look, Easter Island. There, Peru, Easter Island. Look at that. New Zealand, Peru, Easter Island again. Even the tikis. That's the tiki. That's the Peruvian one. That's the New Zealand one right over there. These are the Easter Island boats. The reef. It's called the reed pora. And you find the same within Peru. So they're trying to find that the connection of Polynesia may have came from the people of Peru, right? A lot of the evidence, Easter Island, they talk about that, which is interesting. They're trying to show how similar the hats are. The pyramids, again, pyramid in Mexico, Ecuador, where? Persia. Look how similar that is. There is a connection to the Middle East, to the Americas, and then to Polynesia. I'm starting to see this pattern over and over again when I keep looking at these photos, right? Even over here, I found out that the writings of the Indus Valley are very similar to the writing of Easter Islanders. Over here, script similarity between Easter Island and the Indus civilization. Right over here, okay? Even the bird cult you find in the backs, the poles. Look at that, the Egyptian deity. That's the Mexican tiki, and that's the Maori tiki right over there. So, and here is the red-headed people, native Indians within Mexico or South America, wherever it may be. And here, more examples. The skulls of red-headed people within the Americas. Okay? Peru, here. This is actually the same thing you find in Easter Island. They are protecting who? The people, right? And what I found out, I'm going to research this place over here. My video is going to run out. But wherever this place is within India, and it talks about a story about how dark-skinned folks, the Maoris, speak of how their ancestors were chased out of that country by dark-skinned folks. Okay? And then somehow they crossed all over the islands and found Polynesia. The cause of this exodus was a disastrous war with the dark-skinned folks in which great numbers were slain. Maori tradition tells us that their ancestors in times long passed away 165 generations ago and migrated from a hot country named India. I'm not too sure if it's India, but somehow
very dignified lady
and
who
I'll finish up with
claims
this one here, right?
come out of Persia, and the area that
She
she's
says
talking
Persia.
about, very close to India. And when we did DNA analysis on this lady, it shows a high incidence of her blood group or her DNA in the Persian area, so she's quite correct. But then the second big block, if you like, of people that share her DNA are found in Peru.
Okay, just watch the video because my video is coming close to 10 minutes and it's starting to finish. But my conclusion after watching this video, Redhead Giants, is that no doubt whoever Maui or Tangaloa, they were of a very great noble family. Now, whether that great noble family came from the Middle East, India, or Egypt, those are probably the areas where the origins of the Polynesian people began. In that area, maybe all of human race. And when I was researching that great battle within India, something interesting I found out when researching it, and I might do it in the other video, was that this battle that happened within India, this was a battle of so many nationalities. We're talking about, Southeast Asians like Taiwanese and the Indonesians. There were the dark-skinned races within Africa, like maybe Ethiopia, Somalia, Nubians. There was Egyptians, there was Persians, there was so many different races that came within India, and there was this massive battle. And somehow within that battle, I think, and I'm not too sure because I haven't studied it, I think within that battle that the blacker or the darker skin race won over the lighter skin, and thus scattered the lighter skin out of Egypt and into Europe. So that's how the theology goes. But I might do that in another video.